Welcome to UCAT Decoded, the series created by students who've actually sat this test for students who are about to. There's no jargon, no scare tactics, just straight talk about what the UCAT really is and how to take it on. So if you're in year 10 or 11, or you're sitting the UCAT this year and still don't fully get it, this series is for you. In this first episode, we're covering the basics, what the test actually is, how it's scored, and what test day really feels like. Hi. My name is Kylinda and I'm a first year Monash medical student and I sat the UCAT last year. Let's start with why you're actually here. You want to study medicine or dentistry. You want to be the person in the room who knows what to do when it counts. That's a real goal and it's worth saying out loud because it's a thing that's going to carry you through everything that comes next. But between you and that, there's a test. And for most people, the UCAT is the first real gate you've got to get through. So let's talk about it properly. I'll personally never forget what it was like when I realized I needed to lock in. As someone who had done the UCAT course from year 11, I was very accustomed to watching the time tick from over a year to 7 months to 5 to 3, and suddenly it was less than 100 days. First, let's clear up the biggest myth, because it's the one keeping everyone up at night. The UCAT, it isn't a knowledge test. There's no content to memorize, there's nothing to cram, so if you're walking around feeling like you haven't learned enough for it, let that go right now, because there's nothing to be learned. What it actually does is it tests ability. Each of the 3 cognitive subtests measures a specific skill that matters in real clinical practice. Decision making, for example, it mirrors the kind of reasoning a doctor leans on every day, working through information under pressure to reach the soundest conclusion they can. And once you see it that way, 2 things change. Prep stops being test prep and starts being actual skill building, the kind that you'll carry into your career. And that's why all the gimmicks and all the shortcuts, they don't hold up. You can't hack your way through an ability, you have to train it. So let me run you through the 3 cognitive subtests, not by their textbook names, but what they actually feel like. Verbal reasoning is like being handed a 300-word article you've never seen before and getting about 28 seconds to answer a question on it. Decision making throws different kinds of problems at you and asks you to reason your way to the best answer under pressure. And quantitative reasoning is problem solving, but with numbers, and it's really fast. Here's the most important thing. The UCAT isn't hard because the questions are hard. It's hard because of what it feels like to be inside it, against the clock. And that's the whole test. In each of the 3 cognitive sections, the real challenge isn't whether you could answer the question with all the time in the world, it's what you do when you can feel the time running out. So here are the 2 moves that matter most. 1. There's no negative marking. You lose nothing for a wrong answer, so a guess always beats a blank. Never ever leave anything empty. And 2, knowing when to drop a question and when to move on is a skill, and you have to practice it. Trust me, you don't want to be the one figuring that out for the first time on test day. You want to already know what it feels like to let one go. Scoring is where everyone gets confused, so I'm going to give you the 2 things that actually matter. First is the structure. So the 3 cognitive subtests are each scored from 300 to 900, which gives you a total out of 2700. Situational judgment is scored separately, numerically, in the Australian system, and it doesn't feed into that total. Second, this is the big one. You're being ranked against everyone else who sat the test this year. Your score only means something next to that group. The benchmark will keep climbing as well, so you should be aiming for the 90th percentile or above. That's because the bar rises year on year, so just getting a decent score isn't a safe mindset. The goal is to outperform, not to hit some fixed number and relax. The idea is to get the competitive reality. This test rewards the people who prep with real intensity and not the ones who aim for just good enough. This is the part most explainers skip completely, and it's the one that matters most when your week's out, because it kills the fear of the unknown. So here's the day. You sit the UCAT at a Pearson VUE test center. You check in, you hand over your ID, put your stuff in a locker. You sit down at a computer, you get the practice interface, and then the first section starts, and the clock's already running. When one section ends, the next one kicks off, and you keep going through them. Here's what it actually felt like for me. When you first enter the room, it's very quiet and it's very cold. Yes, the temperature is very cold, but despite having a very friendly old man as my invigilator, the atmosphere was cold as well. Everyone is so locked in, almost like robots. And combined with my nerves, it's like a very out-of-body sensation. I remember when the timer first counted down, my heart was beating out of my chest. But it's kind of funny because after a while, you do get in the zone and you realize, wow, this is exactly like everything I've practiced and planned for. The earplugs are the same texture, the same pressure, the silence is the same. I think the silence always feels loud in the beginning, but then it feels very comforting. Especially with the keyboard, the monitor, the mouse, it's all very similar to the ones that I'd used before. And I think that sense of familiarity was very comforting and encouraging. So this is worth knowing too. Contour runs live UCAT mock test centres in Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Perth and Sydney. So you walk into a room and it's set up to replicate the real thing. Replicates the setup, the timing, the pressure, all of it. It's the only thing like it in Australia, and the whole point is exactly this. It takes the unknown out of it before you walk into the real one. Honestly, I found these live mocks very, very useful. At home, it's good to practice with the real equipment. I think it adds some warmth and comfort on the actual test day. But having the live mocks just adds an extra layer of replication. You can't really completely replicate that experience of waiting, the nerves, the checking in, and the bathroom breaks at home. So it definitely helps you feel more confident on your actual test day to have that experience. The confidence and peace of mind is really invaluable to your mindset because you'll definitely already be nervous and stressed on the day. You can do as many questions as you want or read about it as much as you want, but until you actually experience it with those live simulated mocks, you really can't fully visualize what it's like. So that's the whole point of this. The UCAT felt mysterious before you understood how it worked, and now you get how it works. In the episodes ahead, we'll dig into how to actually prepare for each part of it. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.